Good day and welcome to this intro video using the as of date solution in Qvinci. Qvinci had an as of date solution, has had for quite a while. This is a new permutation of it, which is superior and going to make life a lot easier for you running reports system-wide across many users, many clients. We're going to run through a brief PowerPoint today, and then we're going to hop in the app and show you what it looks like. This video is very short. We're going to move quickly. What does the new as-of-date implementation do? Well, it allows you to set default relative date or specific dates for all reports for all users. We didn't have this before. So, for instance, you can set an as-of-date in Qvinci, which is a lookup basically, that says, I want all reports for all users to run as of last month. So this is May 2021. All users, when they run reports, will be as of an ending date of 4/30/2021. Or you can set a specific date. In other words, I need all reports to cut off on 3/31/2021. There's a use case for doing this. Most of the time, you'll probably want to use a relative date. Now, in addition to system-wide, we call it a system-wide as-of-date, you can set an as-of-date for a specific client, if you will. Perhaps, and there's a reason for that, perhaps you have a client maybe has more than one file, and they're a little bit late with getting you the data, and you always run reports maybe 2 months ago, as of 2 months ago, not last month because they don't get you the data in time. Well, you can set an as-of-date just for that client and set it to relatively 2 months ago, if you will, or an explicit date. The interface is the same, just a different way of doing it. And client as-of-dates overrule these, the system-wide as-of-dates, because they're specific to a client. And finally, to make it easy to use for anybody at any time, we allow users, when they're logged in, to override any of the as-of-dates because they might need to run a report for a specific client for a date that is 3 months ago, or cutting off 2 months ago, or end of year. So there's 3 ways to use the as-of-date. We're going to show you how to do and use them all. The interface looks like this. Now, the as-of-date was found in the account lookup section of Qvinci. It is no longer there now. If you're an existing client of Qvinci, you have been migrated. Your account's been migrated to use it this way. This is the system-wide or the account level as-of-date. In other words, if I set this as an admin in Qvinci or a manager in Qvinci, all my users, when they go to run reports in Qvinci, by default will have what I've chosen. For instance, maybe last month, relative. Or in this case, we're in this particular client, I could set a client cutoff date 2 months ago as an example. It's just a way of layering your dates for your users without locking them in at anything specific. We'll show you how to make these choices on the next slide. So when you click one of those links, the system-wide as-of-date or the client as-of-date, this is the interface that comes up. And it allows you to choose a relative date or a fixed date or custom date. So let's say that, and the best practice is really to choose a relative date because the relative dates roll with you from month to month through the calendar year. So if I wanted to do that, I would click the relative date, and it looks like this. I click the relative date radio button, and I get to choose this month, last month, 2 months ago, 6 months ago, as an example. And what that means is when I set this, when any user goes and runs a report by default, it's always going to be as of the last month based on the calendar month we're sitting in. And what it does is when you select the last month, it looks like this. You can see that we're in May of 2021, and now my cutoff date today for all users is 4/30/2021. And when we get to June, this will automatically be May 31st. Now, historically, you would have had to go into the account lookups and change your as of date manually. You don't have to do that now if you use relative dates. Sometimes you may want to, instead of using a relative date, you may want to choose an explicit custom date. Why would I want to do that? Well, if it's the end of the year, it's January of 2022, and you want all reports to run as of December 31st, and you want no questions asked whatsoever, you might come in and change your system-wide as-of date to 12/31/2021, meaning that all reports are going to be, at the end of the year. And it looks like this. You pick the custom button, and you get a chooser here, and you can see that in this case, I chose March, and March is now set. Well, this is really great. You can layer things in and whatnot, but sometimes users in the field, maybe you're an accountant or franchise, and they say, listen, I like this report, and I'm looking at it last month because I got a relative date range of last month. I sure like to look at that 2 months ago on the fly, Well, Qvinci allows your users to do that. It looks like this. When you log in, this is the reports in library where you run reports, packages, and reports. And those of you familiar with Qvinci, this is where you choose the entity you want to run it on. Well, we put a date chooser right next to that, and it looks like this. You click this, and you can see that my system-wide as of date, as an admin, I've set it to 3/31. As a user, though, I got this client I want to run this report for, and I want to change it. So I click this button, this comes up, I change the date, and I click Apply Changes. Now, what that means is this. The change I just made will be active as long as I'm in this current browser session. And it's only for me, in my browser session. If I close the browser session, if I close Qvinci as an example, and come back in 20 minutes later, it's going to be reset. The as of date is going to be reset back to the system-wide default. And I can always come in here and change it to any date that I want. So I may want to run this for 3/31/21 for 5 clients as an example, or 5 files. I got one that's I need to run it from February 28th. Simply select this, change it to February 28th, run the reports for the client in question. They're all going to come up. It's going to say February 28th on the reports, the whole thing. And then I can change these as much as I want. And this date is it's called being persistent. It is persistent during the current browser session that is open. Any user in your firm or in your company can run any report on any date cutoff period they want by simply changing it here. But you get to set the convenience of last month by default. Most of the time, you'll probably come in and run this, and it'll be as of last month. They won't have to click this. You just run it, and of course, the as of date's going to be here. So when we get to June, this is going to say, 5/31/21 automatically. Your users will see it. They'll just run the report. If they need a different date, they'll click it right here and make the changes. Very simple, very powerful. I'm going to leave this slide up for just a second. Contact us. We'd be happy to show you not only as of, but all the great things that Qvinci can do, or email us here or call this telephone number. In a few minutes, I'm going to hop in just a few seconds, actually, I'm going to hop into the app and show you how to navigate the as of date. Okay, so we're in Qvinci now, and you can see that the as of date links are here. No longer found in account lookups, they're here. And so when I hop into the reports and libraries section, where I choose entities and I run reports, if I expand this down here, you can see that we have the override here next to the filter entities as shown. As an admin or a manager, I might want to set a default setting. So I click the account as of date. And this is the default system-wide. And you can see I've chosen last month. Or I could choose 2 months ago, 3 months ago, or I could pick a custom date. We don't recommend custom date unless you have an explicit use, because this does not automatically change. It's a fixed date. Relative dates change as you move through the year. So if I were to set that to 2 months ago, I'd set it to 2 months ago. I'd click Save, and my as of date would be 3/31, as you can see when I make that change. So best practice really is usually to have it to last month. Sometimes franchises want to do it 2 months ago because it takes a long time, as an example, for all the franchisees to get their books closed, and they want to run relative benchmarking, so sometimes they would choose 2 months ago. In the case of an accountant, most of the time it's last month reporting. Now, in this case, I'm in the Qvinci Dental Group also, and I want to set a unique date for the Qvinci Dental Group because, you know what, some of these guys are a little slow getting data to me. This one I set to 2 months ago. The client as of date will override the system-wide as of date because this date is specific to this client. Change to a different client, you'll set a different date. Okay? But both of these, so now these defaults are here, both of these can be overridden by the user as needed. So the users are coming in to the application, and this is where you run reports in Qvinci. You have a gallery or reports shared with you, your Mind tab, or in this case, the reports that are pinned for all the users to use. And you can see that I've got an as of date set to 3/31 is what I've got. So I want to run a report. I want to run that report, that package with a different date. I simply click it as a user, and I say, you know what, I need to run this as of April 30th. That's really what I want to do. And I click Apply Changes. Any report that I run for any entity that I select is going to run with an ending date of 4/30/2021. If the report is a trailing 12-month report, the last month's going to be 4/30/2021. Need to change it again? No problem. Come down here, make a change. I'm going to set it to May. And you can see I'm on the 20th, and I can set it to May 20th. I'll set it to March, or set it to February. I need to run it for this select group of clients. I click the preview button, and it's going to automatically come down. This package with all these reports in it are going to come down based on the cutoff date of February 28th, 2021. So we give you the ability to make all these changes, to set set the defaults up for convenience for most of your users, but give the flexibility to the user to override the dates. Now, if you need to remember how to do this, here's a knowledge base article right here. It's in multiple places in Qvinci. You click this link, it opens up the knowledge base article. You'll find the video that you're looking at right now there. You'll find the knowledge base articles on how to use the PowerPoint that I showed you. Everything you need to know to navigate this, but I think we can all agree this is a pretty easy solution, right? Set it and forget it. Make your changes on the fly as you need. I'm going to go ahead and bring that PowerPoint back up one more time. We sure do appreciate you joining us today. We know that this is going to make navigating and generating reports on the fly much, much quicker, much, much easier for the users. It's very powerful, and we look forward to talking to you soon. Have a great day.